The top performers are proudly sponsored by Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. Here are the top performers from round number 12 of the Betfred Super League. The top try scorer this week with a magnificent hat-trick against the Giants is Jack Wellesby of St Helens. The most try assists came from Mason Lino of Wakefield Trinity, he got 4. Whilst the top meter maker in Super League this round was Lachlan Miller of the Leeds Rhinos, 316. The most tackle busts also came from Miller, he got 10. Whilst the most clean breaks came from Michael Lewis of Hull KR, Edwin Pape of the Lee Leopards, Kaius Fatali of the Wakefield Trinity and Liam Marshall of Wigan Warriors. The most hard meters made were by Alex Wormsley of St Helens once again, 176. Whilst the most tackles came from Zach Woolford of Huddersfield Giants with 54. And finally, the best goal kicker of the round with 10 from 13 was Max Jowett of Wakefield Trinity. These were your top performers from round number 12. This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington Wolves match days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. You can tell it's been a busy day when Joe Philbin signs for Wigan. But anyway, that's another story.
Well, that's news to me, Dave.
News to me as well. Never mind. A bit later than normal. But yeah, I have to say, boys, you're going to have to carry me through this. Some of us have been up since 5:30 putting this show together between going to work, coming back and all the rest of it. I don't mind telling you, this has been a labour of love today. But hey, not to worry about that. Don't know where Joel is. Maybe his internet's not working. I don't know. Maybe he'll join us in a bit. But yeah, happy days. Happy days. Good evening, gentlemen. Are we well?
Very well, sir. Thank you. How about yourself?
Yes, mate, very well. But always up for merriment and rugby league chats. Always up for that. Yes, outstanding stuff. Great to have everybody's company this evening. Let's get into the chat. Let's say hello to a few people. Carl's with us. Sammy Holt, good evening to you, Sammy. David Cavill's with us. Sam Kennedy, Nick Young, that's a new one. Up the Trin, says Nick. Good evening to you. Corey Appleweight, or Appleweight, yeah. Evening, guys. So good to see you as well. Fantastic.
New names there, Dave.
Yeah, some new names. Always good to see. There's Nicola Burton with the kisses. One extra. She thought Joel was here. I'll take two. I don't mind being dopey out of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He got two and all. Anyway, that's part of mine. Yeah, good times, good times. Welcome to Super League Raw. Right, okay. Let's start the show as we always do. Let's get into a little bit of hanging and banging. Banging or hanging?
This is what would Oliver say at Super League Raw. So this week I'm debating, are Wakefield Trinity one of the teams to get a playoff spot? After some of their great wins this season, including the win against the Wire and against the Leopards, I think they have a great chance of getting the playoff spot, including a ruthless win against Salford Red Devils this weekend. I think even though they've lost narrowly, including to Rovers at the DIY Kitchen Stadium 14-12, I think that they're still carried on and forget about their losses and have determination to every game. If they keep fit, Caius Fartilli, Mason Luno and Max Jowett, who are some of their key players, I think they have a great chance of achieving big things this year. What do you think, Super League Raw?
Yes, we're down with the kids here at Super League Raw. Ollie, what would Ollie say coming in with a big shout out for Wakey Trinity? The boy is with us. Good evening, Joel. Are you well? Can you hear us, Joel?
Good evening. Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Not a bad start. We'll carry on.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, he's there. He's there. A bit of a delay, mate. Bit of a delay. Right, okay, yeah. So, Ollie, right, let's go with Ollie. Wakefield Trinity. Greg, will Wakefield Trinity finish in the playoffs? Ollie's asking, what's your views?
That's a good question, isn't it?
Great analysis as well.
Say again.
Great analysis as well.
It is. Yeah, they had a good win against Salford, but that's not really a measure this season. Sorry, Salford fans. They had a great win against Warrington. Okay, we had a few injuries. Their away form early season was better than the home form. They seem to have sorted the home form out. Whether it's because of the teams they've played, only time will tell. I'll say this, there's no reason why they can't if they keep picking up the points the way they do. I think the big test is against the likes of Wigan, Hull KR, possibly Lee again and Leeds. Although they've beaten Leeds, I think they've beaten Leeds at Headingley this season already.
You go up against them again this weekend.
Yeah. So you know what? The result of this game could very well be a pointer. I think my answer will be there's no reason why not. I still think it's probably a little bit too early to say they're a definite for now.
Wakefield hanging a banging this season thus far, Greg?
Hanging. Got to be hanging. They've done really, really well.
You mean banging?
Sorry, banging. Yeah.
Goodbye and good night to our Trim fans. Thanks for joining us.
You can have my seat next week.
So. Happy days. Steph, we'll come to you. We did a poll. We did a poll on our Facebook page. Who will finish in third to sixth? Wakefield Trinity came out sixth in that poll. So the people who voted seem to think Wakey can. What do you think?
I absolutely think they can. Yeah, I think it's nigh on guaranteed at the moment. The way they're playing, they've gone through injuries. They've had the squads tested, the halfbacks have been tested. They've had injuries to Jowett at fullback. All key positions. And to some dominant forwards as well. You've got Fatilli coming through, Mason Leno setting the world on fire at the moment. For me, I think you'd be a crazy person not to back against Wakefield getting in that playoffs because they're one of the form sides in the comp at the minute for me. They look the real deal, and I think the Trim Brigade are going to be very happy with this season.
Yeah, Craig Forfey's liking a bit of the Trin. Everybody's having a bit of a go over the Joe Philbin signing for Wigan. It's not, he hasn't. That's what happens when you're putting titles together at 5:30 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Cut the boys some slack. Joel, good evening to you, sir. Wakey Trin, ask Oliver, ask it. A great analysis as well from young Ollie. Asking, do we think Trin can stay in the top six? Your view, sir?
Absolutely, they can. And if they don't, I'll be very surprised. They've been playing some fantastic rugby, and I think they're very well deserved to be in the top six. I do apologise if it is lagging. There is a new internet I've got here that's meant to be working. Clearly, it's not. And I've also seen in the chat as well, Corey Applewhite. He's a very good friend of mine. Moved over from Barbados not too long ago. Not been to a rugby game yet, and he will be joining us at the Bluebell in a few weeks when Huddersfield play Warrington. So it'll be nice for you to meet him there and have his first rugby game.
Absolutely. I'm sure to become a member very, very soon. If you want to become a member, do the QR code. You'll never regret it. Get a part of this wonderful, wonderful community. As always, our thanks and appreciation go to little Ollie. He was on the titles. He came to the Blue. He forced his parents to the Bluebell on Friday. It was great to see little Ollie before the game. He will be back next week, of course. And speaking of our younger fans, action for Alfie. As you know, we're very passionate about raising money for the Sales family here at Super League Raw. If you want to donate this evening, I'll change the QR code. That's the QR code to do it. We featured him last week. The running total is £2,473. It'd be marvellous if we broke £2,500 this evening for the Sales family whilst we're on the show. Please do think about supporting one of our own young Alfie Sales, who we will have the pleasure of in just over a week's time at Wembley. Right, okay, it's now time to do what we always do. We're going to get rid of the boys. We're going to leave today's first contestant for hanging and banging on the screen. That one this week is going to be Mr. Sale. And Mr. Sale, your opening gambit, Gary Harrington, sets forth a master plan for the London Broncos, hanging and banging London in Super League 2026.
I think this is banging. We need a competitive London side for visibility. I think it's key to the NRL coming in potentially to invest more money into the sport, and it's great for London as well. To someone who have Gary's experience there, there's nothing that man's not done in this game from a leading club perspective. So with him and Mike Eccles, obviously as director of rugby there, I think that's a perfect combination. I believe they're going to do a rebrand as well, which I think will work really well. They've got a fantastic stadium there, which I think they're on a long-term contract for at the Cherry Red Record Stadium. So everything's looking good for London, and hopefully it sees some investment into the capital, and they can have a competitive squad as well. So great news for London, and this is banging for me.
It's banging for the Sale. We get rid of the Sale. We bring in the Nixon. Greg, it was the debut of Super League Raw live at the Bluebell for the Hull KR game. It's back this Friday against the Castleford Tigers live on YouTube and in the pub. All you Castleford Tigers fans, get down there, mate. Sell it to the public. Why should they come to the Bluebell this Friday for Super League Raw live?
Because it's absolutely banging. It really is. The atmosphere was fantastic. It was great to meet fans from Hull KR. There were some Leaf fans in there as well. I noticed sneaking in the back, Tony. We had a sing-along in there. We had a quiz. It was good bands, good rugby league chatter. I'd love to say hello to Jeff, who I was chatting to, Jeff Johnson, who I was chatting to, who's been watching Hull KR, and I hope he forgives me this, since the 1950s. Which is fantastic. So, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. The atmosphere was great. A really nice atmosphere. People were just chatting away, talking rugby. The show was good to do in front of all those people. So, yeah, it's great. Get down there. Join in. You never know. We might have another sing-song along there on Friday night as well.
Yes, we made sure that the Robin songs were being played. It was wonderful to have so many Robins in the pool. We want the Castleford Tigers fans to come and join us. Get to the Bluebell. Don't believe the hype. A lot of the KR fans who were asking where the Bluebell was, people say, it's miles away. It's not. It's 5-minute walk from the stadium. Just get yourselves down Bridge Street, Warrington. Come and find us. More information on that as we get closer to Friday. Come and join us for Super League Raw live at the Bluebell. And for anybody who's not coming to Warrington, watch us live on YouTube from 6:30 p.m. from the Bluebell, where we'll have more fun, games and debate prior to the game. As Steph says, it's hospitality. but done in a pub, and it's free. Right, okie dokie. Let's go to Mr. Scholes. Right, okay, Joel. Me and you, Joel on debut on Round Unpacked this Monday for the members, and we were talking about that Nene McDonald elbow to the face of the Wakey Trinity player. Joel, the match review panel missed it. Was Nene a lucky boy?
Very lucky. If that was 99% of us that were watching that, you would have most likely got quite a heavy ban. Games would probably have given him. But if it was up to me, that's a minimum of a 3-match ban. It's a gentleman's sport. Yes, I know it's rough and it's ready, but it's a wonderful game that has a lot of class, and a lot of sportsmanship and respect, and that was not shown there with Mr. McDonald.
No, it wasn't a good look for me. It was hanging. He definitely did him with the elbow. Nene is a very lucky boy, and I'm sure Paul Rowley is very relieved that he will have his fullback available to him this weekend, albeit I don't think it'll do much good. But that is by at least he'll have him. Right. Good. I was going to say goodbye to Joel and hello to Steph, but Steph's disappeared. I don't know where Mr. Sale is. There he is. He's back. Right then, Mr. Sale, don't do that on me. Right. Watch Along Live debuted on Saturday with Bazza Kingston and Craig Forth. A difficult game, this one, to do a Watch Along Live because it was a bit of a cakewalk. But how did the boys do, and did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was hanging. No. It was no. The lads did a fantastic job. I watched the whole game with them. Synced my TV. I enjoyed it miles better than the Sky commentary. I thought they did a terrific job in what was a pretty tough game to live commentate on. But for two lads who've never done it before, I thought they did a really professional job. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to more members stepping up and doing it, because it's going to be a real fun part of the offering for our community. So well done to the boys. You did a really good job, and this one was absolutely banging for me.
Yes, for those listening on the podcast and for those watching us this evening, Watch Along Live back this Saturday, Leeds Rhinos Trinity. What a game that's going to be. And Mark Hill is in the hot seat. He will be joined by somebody else as well to do it alongside him. Make sure you do Watch Along Live this Saturday. The show will start at 2:15. Goodbye to Mr. Sale. Back comes Reggie Nixon. Reg, the Catalan Dragons, they're hunting Sean Wayne. Sam and Joel will be happy, and Mickey McAloran is set to go back for 2026. It could be a Wigan loving at the Dragons. Should Sean Wayne take the job?
That's a difficult one. I've been looking at this and thinking about this one. If England don't do so well in the World Cup, or the England kind of the job goes sour on him a little bit, I'm not sure about this one. Is it a great move for Sean Wayne? Is he the right fit for Catalan? He'll bring some steel. He'll certainly bring some steel. He might bring some of the dark arts that he's well known for to the Catalans. I'm not sure about this one. I think they may well go for an Australian coach as the next port of call. I think this might be media talk, I think. Not sure about this one, so I'm going to go for a behanging if I can.
You're going banging for Sean Wayne to the hanging.
A behanging. I'm on the fence.
Whatever you think first, go the other way. You'll probably get it right. Right, okay, we say goodbye to Reggie. We bring Mr. Scholes back. Joel, you like your NRL. The Panthers, bottom of the NRL. The Newcastle Knights piling on the misery. Makes same Sally's fans maybe think again. The dynasty that is the Panthers, is it coming to an end?
I don't know. It's I'm lost for words. A team can be, so dominant over the now. It's just been at the bottom of the pile. Something's not right, and I know they're Cleary, and that never helps when you've got arguably the best player in the world leaving at some point. But I think if he does, the way he's going to come is to Super League, and that's purely down to his girlfriend. I don't see him because I don't know what other team he'd probably end up going. Melbourne, but he's got Panthers. He's got a really good place at Penrith. I think the only other player end up going is the Storm, if anywhere. So yeah, I'm not sure. great halfbacks in the NRL. He's one of the best players in the world. It's not like he's just going to take somebody else's spot. It's he's got to be leagues above everyone else, which he is great, but he's not leagues above everyone else, and that's the problem he'd have. So if he came, he'd be coming to the Super League.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. A couple of comments in the chat, just deal with those. They're missing Jerome Luai, no doubt about that. I think, all the talk about Cleary, I think there's no doubt there's a Jerome Luai effect there. Deb Hasty saying, isn't Lingard struggling at the Eagles? I don't think he'd get the Penrith job. I don't think he'd get the Catalan job. But do you know what? He's doing a rebuild. You've got to remember, Sheffield are a part-time side. He is changing personnel there at this moment in time. We do keep in touch with Craig. Be interesting to see how his second half of his season goes. But yeah, a very disappointing loss for the Eagles at Hunslet at the weekend. Right, we say goodbye to Joe. We bring back Mr. Sale. And actually, there's been a further announcement this evening. Jai Pitts has signed till 2027, but Kaius Vitali has signed till 2028. Obviously, he's not a Panther. Unbelievable signing this for me. This is perhaps the best in-season business that we've seen.
Oh, definitely. And like I said earlier about Wakefield's pretty much guaranteed playoffs, he's a big part in what Wakefield have done. Outstanding form. I think he's 3 doubles on the run, is it now? In terms of try scoring. What a player this lad has become in Super League. And we always get that breakout player in the forwards, don't we? Like Tom Amone previously. And Kaius is definitely that this season. He's he's a brilliant signing. I'm sure there will have been plenty of people ringing his agents up to see if they could pinch him off the Trin. But no, I'm glad he's staying at Trinity because the Trinity fans deserve that for this season. And he's very well liked there, isn't he? So brilliant news for them. It's banging.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's him an essay form at the moment. The man is an absolute animal and a beast. Massive congratulations to him. And of course, Jay Pitts as well. He is a phenomenal loose forward. They'll be delighted to have tied him down as well. Great news both on and off the field for the Tring. Goodbye to Steph. Hello to Greg. And Greg, over to you now with Zane Musgrove leaving the wire. More negative noise for Burgess. Thoughts on this? Are there problems behind the scenes at Warrington?
I think if there are, I think they've acted swiftly to nip this one in the bud. It's not, it's not for me to kind of gossip and tittle tattle, but there were rumours about incidents, about fights. Yeah. Musgrove has got a bit of a checkered history with the clubs he's been at in Australia. So if there is trouble behind the scenes, then credit to Warrington that they've dealt with something they see as a problem, dealt with it swiftly. Or as swiftly as they were allowed to, because I think that the rumour mill was going for about 2 weeks. The thing here, though, for me, is how slow the Warrington PR machine was with this one. And that as soon as those rumours started to go around, the media guys should have put out a holding statement so that Sam Burgess wasn't left quite as high and dry as he was, facing the media and answering questions about Musgrove in press conferences when it was clear something was going on, but he wasn't happy to speak about it. So I think that's something that he's sorting out there. So I think it's banging that they've dealt with it and dealt with it in a very, very firm way. Whether he can resurrect his career at Oldham Bears, they're not Oldham Bears anymore, are they? Oldham is to be seen. So yeah, banging that they've dealt with it relatively more as quickly as they could, I think.
Fair enough. And, for the last one, we're going to bring back our friend Joel. Joel, your last one this week. Tristan Powell, a giant, much-needed size and mobility in your pack. Good signing, this one?
NRL appearance. But he played really well. And if you've seen any of his Queensland Cup games, I know, but I watched that. He's a very, very good player. Very good player. His line speed is crazy. He's 102 kilos, the heaviest prop around. But with the weight reduction comes speed and power. So, he's going to be up there the line real hard. And a really nice bloke. Had the opportunity of having a after the game, which was nice. and he seems buzzing to be in Super League. Someone so excited to be at Huddersfield Giants for a very long time.
Yeah, I saw on social media again. You've got to smile sometimes at the fans. So some were saying that he actually bought his own plane ticket home after watching them at the weekend, and I thought that was quite naughty. That really from people, I have to say. Well done, Joel. Right, let's bring all the boys back. That is another hanging and banging done for another week. Nobody gets through the news quicker than we do here at Super League Raw. Right, okay, a little bit of news from us. Like I said, we're announcing the likes of Watch Along Live, of course, live at the Bluebell as well. That is, of course, now going to be a fixture for Warrington games going forward. There's lots of great photographs and videos that were taken by the fans in the Bluebell on Friday. It really is going to become a really good venue. If you want to get a little bit of, like I say, Steph's right, hospitality without hospitality. We go through the teams, we talk rugby league, we get you involved, we get you on the mic, we have a game with you. It's going to be a great spectacle. So any travelling supporter that's coming to Warrington, get to the Bluebell 2 hours before kick-off. That's when the festivities will start. Let me tell you, 30 to 40 Robins fans had a brilliant time at the Bluebell before they went down. They enjoyed it that much. A lot of them went back after the game to go and listen to have a little bit of a sing-song and a dance before they went home, which was absolutely wonderful. So please do that. Right. There'll be a lot of people out there thinking what's going on within the sheds. And an apology from me. As you can imagine, I've bitten off a lot this year. And I'm finding it very difficult. I don't mind telling you. I've got to prioritise the membership. We've brought new shows in this year. Of course, Round and Pat being one of those. And I have to prioritise what I do for the members. As you know, In the Sheds is free. So that's going to change. It's going to get a revamp. It will come back, but it will come back in a different format. So apologies for those who are missing In the Sheds, but it will return this week. It will be a little bit different, but it'll still have that little bit of jovial fun in there in terms of the week's matches. But like I say, can't do it all. I've got a full-time, well, not got a full-time job, but I've got a couple of jobs that are all part-time, this being one of them, and I'm doing big hours, guys. I can't do it all, and I have to prioritise the members. Hopefully people appreciate that. I have to prioritise them, but it will come back, but in a slightly different form. So that's a little bit about In the Sheds. Of course, Captain's Run is now FOC. That's free of charge. We'll be back on Thursday. Who in the membership is going to be presenting us alongside me and Steph this week? Of course, we had Basil last week. That, of course, is open. If you would like to join me and Steph this Thursday for Captain's Run, then get in touch. If you're a Six Again or a Team Talk member, get in touch and you could be on Captain's Run this week. For those people who have not found Captain's Run yet, go to our website, to our YouTube channel on a Thursday. It will be uploaded by 6 o'clock, and you can have the best build up to the first game of the round from 6 o'clock. It'll take you right the way to the Sky Sports production. Super League Raw just keeps getting bigger and better, and we've got some in conversations as well on the way. More on those next week. Right, okay. Now, apologies. Not as many this week, but I know you love it, so we've got to put it in. Time has been at a premium today, but here it comes.
Give your head a wobble.
Yes, it's time for Give Your Head a Wobble. Right, okay. Where are we going to start? Well, look, we've only got a couple. We'll start with Lee. Now, I don't know if it's a Lee fan or if it's an imposter. You make up your own mind. But by all accounts, Trout and Mulhern are trash. No go forward.
There's something very fishy about that post, Dave.
I think so, absolutely. I mean, I'm not being funny, but if you took it at face value, you could get hooked. Unbelievable stuff, but we're not taking the bait. Let's just give our heads a little wobble like a salmon on a hook. And come on, behave yourselves, dear me. Robbie Mulhern. I mean, look, Trout's more a second row than he is a prop forward. Yeah. And Robbie Mulhern for 3 seasons has been right up there with the best in terms of meters made. So, Derek, me old China, give your head a wobble. That is a shocker.
I mean, Mulhern had a shocker against Hull, but they're very few and far between.
It happens, mate. It happens.
It does happen.
But he's not trash, Dick. God.
No, far from it. Far from it.
Yeah, Lee fan or imposter, you make your own mind up on that. Now, look, great win for FC. You think FC would be really happy this week? Really happy. And rather than focusing on their own side, Neville Barnes decided to focus on Wigan. And what he said was this. was good to see the Wigan fans out enforcing Catalans yesterday. I guess that was your big day out after we knocked you out in the cup. Oh, Neville, sir. Matey, come on. Yes, you've knocked them out of the cup, but you're not in the final either. Unbelievable, Neville, lad. Not good enough. And sticking with our FC fans as well, they're not happy with KR. I mean, talk about sour grapes. Ooh, sour grapes. Here it comes. If they win the Challenge Cup, we're still singing since 1985. Trophies with the help of the Rugby Football League don't count. Another one that only puts his initials on. EHFC fan, matey. Just my dear Lord. Anyway, look, we always say this is 1% of the supporters. Don't take it personally. We know that there's sensible fans out there, but if these things are going to get posted online, that's what Give Your Head a Wobble's all about. And we include Warrington in all of this as well. So Warrington at the moment out of form, and it's almost like pulling straws. So rather than focus on Warrington, let's focus on Cass. Won't be many Cass fans there. I know you're inconsistent and not that good, but we're terrible. So where's that come from? It's almost like, let's focus on how many travelling fans that Cass has because at the moment we're out of form. Come on, Patrick, lad. What you doing, son? Davy.
You know what? That kickoff's been moved.
I know it's been moved. Yeah.
Many Castle fans who were planning on coming to that game. Was it originally Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon. Saturday.
Yeah,
Perfect
Saturday.
day.
Yeah.
Loads of Castle fans would have been there, made plans.
Yeah.
Friday, not as easy to get over the Pennines on a Friday afternoon. So don't knock the Castleford fans if they don't turn out in force. It's not their fault. That kickoff has been rearranged, obviously to suit Warrington because we're at Wembley the week after. But come on.
Yeah, he's all I'm going to say. Joel, mate, I'm not being funny. Whoever that broadband provider is, mate, you need to sack him. Deary me, you're having massive problems tonight, mate. Back in your own gaff. Your mum and dad's is far more consistent. That's another story. Anyway, whilst Joel is trying his best to sort that out, let's now go over to Mr. Nixon for this week's Nixon Report.
Here we go.
Do you want me to go down there?
All right, okay. So we might only be 2 games into the Women's Super League this season, but this Sunday's game at Halliwell Jones between Warrington Wolves and the Barrow Raiders looks already like it could be quite a significant fixture. Both teams desperate for win. They've lost their opening fixtures. Whoever loses this one, they're going to be looking at a long fight for Super League survival this season. I think, and that as a Warrington fan and a member of that team, that's really hard to say. But Warrington will probably start favourites for this one. We've got a young team, and it's still gelling, but it's they played well against Huddersfield, not so well against Lee. They lost 42-6 to Lee at the weekend at the Lee Sports Village. It was quite telling to see that a number of former Warrington girls got on the score sheet against the wire at the weekend. Tries from Abby Latchford, Emily Bagley, and Abby Johnson, who were all in Warrington's first team this time last year. And the very talented Hattie Dolgus, you might not have heard of her, but she was a part of the Warrington development pool, played at Foundation at Open Age. She's a great little fullback. And another ex-Warrington player, Charlotte Melvin, she kicked 7 goals that day. So, it's going to be a crunch game, I think, so early in the season. The Wire are looking to turn around a 10-match losing streak, which stretches back to last season. But Raiders lost 106-0 to Wigan Warriors at the weekend. Warriors ran in 19 tries. They're top of the league. It was an impressive performance. Lee's impressive opening as well. They're there in second. As for Saints, they're in third now. First win of the season. They beat a determined Huddersfield Giants 36-0. And York Valkyrie just came out the other side of a strong Leeds Rhinos fight back to it, 24-16, and notched their first win of the season. So, apart from Warrington taking on Barrow on Sunday, this weekend sees the Rhinos taking on the Warriors on Saturday. maybe a good test for the Warriors. That Rhinos haven't hit the straps yet this season. This is a good test, I think, for the Warriors, and we'll certainly know a lot more about them after this game. That's a noon kickoff at Headingley, and York host Saints with the Giants facing Lee. So there you go. Yeah, a crunch weekend this weekend, I think, for Wire and the Barrow Raiders. So if you can get down to one of those games, as I said last week, you will not be disappointed by the standard of rugby league on show in these women fixtures. So if you can, please get down there. And that's it for this week. So thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, well done, mate. I have to say, Wigan Warriors, wow. I mean, we keep coming back to this every week, pal. You've got to be favourite for Wembley now, surely.
Well, yeah, I did tip them. If you remember, and I keep saying this, but yeah, they have absolutely hit the ground running. Dennis Betts has done a fabulous job there. He's recruited well. They had 3 first teamers missing, including Anna Davis on the weekend. So to say they had an England international and Anna Davis missing, that's a really impressive performance. I think that I think the Wigan Warriors could surprise a few people at Wembley.
But Greg, mate, at the start of the season, we'd say surprise, but not now. I mean, now the way that they dispatched every team before them this year, it's not like they've not played Valkyrie.
No. I mean, I think, do you know what?
Nailed them.
Yeah, but going into that final, because of the experience, and they most of those girls have been at Wembley before. I think St Helens will still go into that final as favourites. They've got the players, they've got the Jodie Cunninghams, the Amy Hardcastles. They've got the players there, and I think they will go into that final Saints as favourites. Surprised by the fact that they could very, very well turn over what is a very, very experienced Saints team at Wembley on the day. Wembley's a funny place. No matter how well you're playing, it can always catch you out. But I back Wigan to win silverware this season. I said it was more likely to be the Challenge Cup. I'm still backing him for that. And the way they're playing, but they could get to the grand final.
Well, I mean, at the moment, the way they played against Leeds and York, I think absolutely. And I think that, for me, very, very impressed. And, it's the Dennis Betts factor as well. I mean, no disrespect to any of the other coaches in Women's Super League, but let's be absolutely honest. Dennis Betts is a premier rugby league player who's overseeing that. You've got to say that could be a factor. Kev Walls asked the question over Warrington, what's going on? You're better placed than I with regards to that in the women's game. He says since Ben Murdoch-Masilla's wife's left, they've gone backwards. And, of course, this year they had a major recruitment problem. A lot of their ladies, especially the talented ladies, moved on. Greg, your take on the Warrington this season? Are they going to be battling out with Barrow for the bottom spot?
I'd like to think not. But that is the problem. That is the problem this season. We lost so many experienced players last season for various reasons. Injury, moving to other clubs. Swinton have taken a few players off us over the last few weeks. Lee have also recruited from some of our players who were maybe not first teamers, but were certainly on the foundation pathway. I mentioned Hattie Dogus. She's a really, really talented player. I hope I'm saying her surname right. But yeah. Kev, the problem is that we're kind of dealing with almost a completely new team with very little experience from last season. And, Jed Ginty, the new head coach, and his team of coaches there are doing an absolutely wonderful job. And they are, there were signs of improvement against Huddersfield. There really were. Lee were just too good at the weekend. Another well-coached side. So, the issue is we lost far too many experienced players over the last 2 or 3 years, and I don't want to go into politics of it, but Warrington Wolves women don't have the same backing, don't have the same standing within the club because they're still a part of the foundation, not Warrington Wolves as a club, so they don't get the same backing as say a Wigan Warriors do or a Lee Leopards do, or the more established teams like Saints and Leeds and York. So, that 106-0 for Wigan against Barrow has to be a wake-up call. Like the England women's defeat against Australia, it has to be a wake-up call that the clubs have to start taking the women's side of the game a lot more seriously. Yes, the money isn't there.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll go. We're not going there again. We've done all of that.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Let's get behind them.
Yes, let's get behind them. Let's get behind
Yeah.
them. But Wigan Warriors, the real deal. They can only beat what's
Yeah.
in front of them. And if I'm St. Helens going to that final, maybe their experience at Wembley will go in their favour. But if I'm the Saints, I'm very, very concerned about the Wigan Warriors at Wembley. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Good night to Sam. A big hello. If anybody's, by the way, seeing this on anything but YouTube tonight, we can't see your messages unless you go onto YouTube. So anybody who's watching this not on YouTube, go over to our YouTube channel now. You won't miss a beat. Go over to that. Start getting your messages into YouTube, and we can give you a shout out. And we'll be able to say good evening to you all. And as far as Rebecca's concerned, it's great to have you back, Rebecca. She missed it last week. She's back this week. Absolutely fantastic. So really, really good. Reggie back Wigan. So stick your money on Saints women. Good lad, Aidan lad. Good lad. Right, okie dokie. It's that time of the week yet again where we do the Super League Raw team of the week. You won't get loose forwards in second row, or people that played second row in loose forward positions. No, you won't. You won't get two scrum halves in the halfbacks either. You won't get any of that either. And you won't actually get just players who scored tries. Just saying. Oh no, we do it proper. We do it absolutely proper. We take into account stats, but also what our eyes see. And if they were the best players in their position, they get in the Super League Raw Team of the Week. It's the most coveted Team of the Week, in our opinion, every single week. And this week, we go back to the movies. Team of the Week is sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 12 with the Good Estate Agent for 2025. Here we go again at one. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the John Smith Stadium with the first team returnees, up swims the great white-shirted Jack Wellsby, who put his jaws into the Giants who became his wet lunch. At 2, and look who's talking now. Yes, Tristan Saylor danced around the Giants like John Travolta, defied the odds like Bruce Willis, and as for Kirsty Zally, well, let's just leave it there, shall we? At 3 is the Robbins Petahiku, who looked akin to Tom Cruise with a cocktail shaker. Oh yes, he shook it to the left, he shook it to the right, he took it to the wire with all of his might, oh baby! At 4 is Harry Newman. We might not like him when he's angry, but his performance was more incredible than we have seen for some time for the Rhinos. Hopefully, he will not make us turn green on him again this week. At 5, this Liam is on fire with passionate tries, and he always runs when Wigan are on top. Yes, that's right, you never forget your first piece of pie. Just ask the Cherry and Whites, who were as jubilant as Jim on a kitchen table with baked goods. We'll just say, Marshall ate it, shall we? At 6 is Jake once again. When they pull a strip, Connor stuns them with an assist. When they send over a conversion, he sends one of his teammates over with a try. That's the Connor way, and that's how you climb the league table. Untouchable. At 7 was the officer who drilled his gentlemen into action all over the wire and lifted them to where they belonged. Further ahead on the mountain high, Tyrone May was quite simply quality. At 8, it could have been Lazzone, but it had to be Fire Tilly. And if they were brothers, only their mother could tell them apart. Caius produced numbers a centre would have been proud of. As for Salford, they forgot the third rule of a crisis situation. Duck when Big Caius is running at you. At 9, it is Robo Jez. He's part man, part machine. Well, dead and alive. The 2 points were coming home with him on Friday with a defensive effort that ensures his friends and opponents call him Lytton. At 10, it's not a Dark Knight, but Liam Knight, who is a cross between a crash test dummy and Arnold Schwarzenegger. He'll be back against the Dragons this weekend to terminate even more Earthlings in his path. At 11, it's Curtis Sirinen, who ensured that the John Smiths was a little stadium of horrors. Yes, his name isn't Seymour, but I'll tell you now, he keeps shouting Phoebe all night long with these tries and breaks. Go on, Curtis. At 12 is Morgan Knowles, who played like an alien from outer space and no one could hear Luke Robinson scream. He pretty much told the Giants to stop your grinning and drop your linen, and yes, he spanked that cowbell for... And finally, at 13 was the man who completes Trinity. He is the ambassador of Quorn, as every week he defends, effort, and this week tries. Jay Pitts shows them the money. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 12. So there you go, the team of the week. Joel, how's your internet doing now?
This should be far better.
Are you back at your mum's?
Yes, I am.
There you go, good lad. You know it makes sense. Yes,
You got a quick bite, Joel.
There's the team of the week this week. Yes, Morgan Knowles in second row, not at loose forward. We'll just fire that one in there. A scrum half and a standoff in the half backs. Boys, Steph, you're top of the shop on my screen, so I'll start with you, mate. Team of the week, happy with that one?
Yeah, great to see so many Saints players in there, given their fans' reaction to their recent form and stuff, which sets up going to be a mouth-watering tie that against KR this week in terms of what do KR do. They can't take Saints lightly now, can they? Because if they do, if Saints perform like that again, then it's going to be one hell of a humdinger of a game, that. So yeah, and Connor as well, brilliant. He's been probably the most consistent half this season, hasn't he? And good to see May partnering there. I thought Tyrone May was outstanding again at the weekend.
Yeah, he was. Greg, your thoughts on the team of the week, mate?
Yeah, good to see Pitts in there again. Morgan Knowles in the second row. Wow. Great performance. And echoing what Steph says about Jake Connor. As I've said before, I think he's been given carte blanche to just do what he likes. I don't think he's being coached. I think they've just said to him, do what you do best, son. And it's bringing the best out of him. Tristan Saylor as well. He was a bit of a misfit. No real kind of place for him. Some questioned whether he indeed had a place in the team. He seems to have found his feet there. So, yeah, good team. Good team.
Yeah, I mean, Joel, there's a couple of Trinity. When you see over 70 points put up against Salford, you're tempted to say, no Trinity players are going in here. I think Pitts is in there because actually the number 13s this week, I don't think anybody really shone at 13. They were all pretty much something of a muchness, hence why Pitts, with his assist and his try, just got him there. He did good meters as well. So Pitts, he gets in there. And as far as Firetilly's concerned, I mean, dearie me, his numbers, just to remind people and you what was on the screen a moment ago. I mean, these are centre stats. 2 tries, 1 assist, 15 carries, 150 meters, 3 clean breaks, 4 tackle busts. Wow.
It's crazy, isn't it? It just shows them, as we mentioned before, that they don't have to be the biggest player in the world. They don't have to be the fastest. Sorry, not fattest.
That was me.
I'll say that title goes to me. I think I'm enough for all three of you. But yeah, it's just heart and desire. That he's got that in abundance, and clearly he's showing up each week, and that's why he's producing them kind of numbers. Not surprised with any of them players in there, especially with the amount of Saints players. Jake Connor, I've got to say, Jake Connor. I know in the WhatsApp chat, Alex mentioned about saying that when we were saying about how much trouble he'd given us, I think it is down to similar to what Reggie's saying, that, and I said this last year, that Jake Connor is not somebody that can really be managed, and if it does, it's going to take someone special to manage him. And if a coach is willing to allow him just to do what he wants to do, great. But remember what happened at Hull. He eventually burned out. So hopefully that won't happen with Leeds, because you've got so many great players around him at Leeds, and long may it continue for him, because it's really good to see.
Yeah, Sam Lazzone was unlucky. I'll say that straight off the bat. It was a choice for Tilly, Sam Lazzone, 2 very similar. Liam Knight, for me, he might not have scored a try, but my Lord, defensively and go forward was just incredible. Really, really strong effort from Liam Knight. For me, absolutely deserving to be in there. The reason, in the chat, Tom Mackay saying, I always get his surname wrong. I do apologise, Tom. About John Asiata. I think if John Asiata doesn't go off, he's a shoo-in. He's a shoo-in for Team of the Week. He was playing that well. He was a shoo-in, but he went off, and he missed most of the second half. So, you've got to take that into account as well. The same as when we do a Team of the Month. You've got to play all the games. If you're not playing all the games, you're not in a Team of the Month. I'm sorry, but no, it's about consistency, that award. So yeah, I think you're right. Asiata, very, very good. Didn't play the full game. That's why he's not there. But yeah, Litton's defence incredible. Liam Marshall outstanding. Jack Wellsby. Oh yes, go on, Super Jack lad, playing like a oh yeah. As Richard Dreyfus says, you can ignore him as much as you want until he swims up and bites you on the derriere. Go on, Jackie boy. That's what we're talking about. Great effort. Right, before we move on, I'll just get rid of the women's fixtures off the bottom of this because we've got a bit of time. We're doing well for time. So I thought I'd do this tonight, right? Because I can't remember a season where we're at round 12, round 13, where there's that much talent sat in the stands. So, just thought I'd pick a 17. And how would this team go? Right? These are players currently injured in Super League. I've picked a 1 to 17. Fullback, Sam Tompkins, out. On the wing, Kyle Felt or Tom Makinson, out. Centres, Harry Robertson, Oliver Gildart. Wing, Matty Ashton. Scrum half, George Williams. Number 7, take your pick, Sneed, whichever way you want to go. Number 8, Sam Walters. Number 9, Danny Walker. Number 10, Thompson's now out with a rib injury. Number 11, Lachlan Fitzgibbon. You could put Jed Cartwright in if you want. Number 12, Reece Martin. Number 13, Ben Garcia. On the bench, number 14, Mickey Mack. Number 15, Julian Busquet. Number 16, John Asiata. And number 17, Paul Vaughan.
Formidable.
Wow.
We can Ethan O'Neill as well now, right, for 6 weeks. Really.
Yeah, O'Neill as well. He'd probably get in that. He'd probably get there somewhere. I mean, the amount of quality lads that's in the stand. Have you ever? I don't think we've ever had a season where, I mean, I know injuries bite, but to have that much talent sat in the stands, wow.
Yeah, I think with long-term injuries as well. that's the thing. At Matty Ashton, out for the season. Reece Martin's been out since week 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's the nature. I think it's the kind of the long-term nature of some of those injuries, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Hill saying, Mike Acevo. Yeah, we haven't seen him this season. Yeah. There's another one.
True.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Joel's lads are back now. But yeah, just incredible, Tom again back in with Evans. Yeah. Just that say, I just thought I'd do it just to highlight the amount of quality that we're currently not seeing. Craig Stanley now going in with Abbas Miska. Andy Ackers is being mentioned. Absolutely. What incredible talent we're missing out on this season. Hopefully those boys get themselves fit very, very soon because we need our best talent on the field. But I think it's only right that we mention that because there's a lot of superstars there that we're not seeing every week, boys. It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
Ones that have missed the earlier parts, players like Lockie Miller and players like that who missed earlier on and they're coming back now. So they missed a big, a third of the season pretty much, haven't they? Some of those players.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to depress people because, at the end of the day, we're a very positive group here at Super League Raw. We are, but, just thought I'd mention it because I think these boys out of sight, but they're not out of mind. The warriors of our game, we want them back as soon as possible because it makes our game better. Before we do the Fantasy League with Joel, it's time to drop into the goal.
Ooh, pass me a cucumber sandwich.
Do you know what? Of all of the little titles that we do, I quite like that one. I'm always like, it's like being in old Parry with your baguette and your coffee. Oh yes, marvelous stuff. Right, let's get into the goal fork then. Let's have a little bit of fun, boys, as we always do. Right, let's start. Where are we going to start? What was the famous league, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look at the league game. What did we do at the league game? Oh God, it's just too easy, isn't it? Right, league game. Steph, who was your best player? Lee Leopards Thursday.
Oof, probably Price, maybe.
No. Your best player.
Oh, Lee's best player.
Yeah.
Oof. God, that's tough. Try.
You go Owen, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to shout out any league players that shone on the night? Played really well.
I thought Pappy grew into the game. I don't think he was brilliant.
No,
he kind of grew into the game.
Yeah,
Owen Trout was
I thought Hodgson personally.
Bailey Hodgson.
Yeah, Bailey Hodgson. Yeah,
I thought he was class. But of course, the easy vote for one, Lachlan Lamb.
Lockie Lamb's kicking game was a lot better.
He wasn't top 3 though, was he?
No, his kicking game was a lot better.
Right now, 2 for Price. Got no issue with that. I thought Price had probably his best game.
Yeah, I agree.
One of his best games in an FC shirt. He let his rugby do the talking. 3 points. Who got the 3? Where you going? 3 points.
They'll probably give it Asiata.
Asiata played out. I think about maybe no. But again, they went the easy way. They went Caesar.
Yeah, I was going to say Caesar.
He was all right. I mean, he was all right. He had a half decent game, but
they didn't go for Price.
What's that?
Didn't they go for Price?
No, they gave 2 to Price. I thought Price was better than Caesar, if I'm being honest. And I
agree with you, Dave. I thought that was Will Price's, from what I've seen, best game of the season so far.
And I thought that Liam Knight was overlooked.
I'm say Liam Knight, yeah.
Liam Knight and SASA did as well. SASA, we gave 3 for Knight and 2 for SASA. They laid the platform against Lee. They bullied him. That's why Mulhern was off colour. He was coming up against 2 juggernauts who had a really, really good game. Let's call it for what it was. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Right, who else played? It was Saints, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look at Saints. No real arguments there. 1 for Sailor, 2 for Sivinen, 3 for Jack Wellsby. What they all got in common, they scored tries. Just saying. Don't shoot me. Just saying. Let's go to Warrington. This is quality. Right, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall off your chair. Just don't do it. Don't fall off your chair. Here we go. Hull KR, Warrington Wolves. Man of the match, Tyrone May. Happy days. No drama. Yeah. Nobody's angry with that. Okay. 2 points, Petter Hickey. Fine. No issue with that. Played really well. Not got any issue. Now comes Comedy Gold. Here we go. Game on. Now, is it a KR fan? Is it a Warrington player? Let me tell you, it's a Warrington player. So, you watch the game, boys. Who was Warrington's best player on the night, Steph? Warrington's got it, but who was their best player on the night?
I would say, for me, Philbin.
Wouldn't you? Smoking Joe? Oh, yes, absolutely. Just under 100 metres, some brilliant runs off the back fence. Yes, I agree. I thought Joe was probably Warrington's best player. Good shout, Mr. Sale. Joel, anybody else other than Mr. Philbin?
No, I'd have gone with Joe Philbin myself, yeah.
Yeah, Greg. Anybody from you?
I thought Joel Philbin. I thought in patches, Ben Curry was very good. That pass for Dan Norman's try was very, very good. As soon as he's pushed into the halves.
Yeah.
Ben Curry. Joe Philbin. Thought Connor Wrench did all right.
Yeah. We've got Don Kirby. Don Kirby's in the chat. Here we go. Yeah. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
No, just to let you know, we didn't put a single Warrington in our top 3. No. Stefan Ratchford.
What? Oh, shocking.
That's because he had Mikey Lewis's hand.
Right. They must be getting caviar up there in the stands now, not cucumber. Wow. Deary me.
Wow.
Stefan Ratchford. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. Steph's been a great servant, but
great name.
Oh, what the poor mate.
Ratchford's a great name, Steph. You're right. Yeah.
His defence was poor. I mean,
it's time's up. It's time's up.
It comes to every player, yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's not Stefan's fault we've got I mean, I don't think he expected to be playing, if we're being honest. He wasn't expecting to be playing. But come on, whoever that is, give you. I mean, why didn't they include that and give you head a wobble? That'd have been a belter. That'd have been a belter for wobble, that. Right, Leeds Rhinos taking on, no issues with this one. He's only got 3. We gave him 2. Newman got 2. And Miller got 1. So I've got no issue with that. Wigan, let's get to Wigan. Wigan got the 1, 2, 3. They actually gave man of the match to Marshall. Could understand that. He had a good game.
Scored a couple of tries.
2 tries to assist. He had a good game. 2 for Smith and 1 for Kieran. And again, I understand that. I've got no issue with that. At all.
I thought Kieran was probably one of their better players, to be honest.
He kicked well. 8 out of 9. He kicked well. So again, whoever that was, no issue with that. That's a good knock from him or her, whoever it was. And then finally, going to Trin, Lino got 3, no issue with that. Firetilly got 2, no issue with that. And then Mike McMeekin got 1, which
you might think, well, that's, but no. I mean, when you get into the detail, Mike McMeekin was not top 3.
He scored a try, though, didn't he?
He scored a try. He made a try. But he only made 61 metres from 11 carries. It wasn't his best performance. When you consider that Jowett got a try, he got 2 assists, and he kicked 10 from 13. When you consider that young Ellis Lingard, on his Super League debut, young Ellis got 2 tries and made 71 metres from 8 carries. Whoever gave
It's not a bad debut, that.
It's not a bad debut. Whoever gave McMeekin, look, we're massive fans of Mike McMeekin, but I think Mike, by his own reckoning, would say he did not deserve a top 3 spot this week in the goal for. But there's no doubt about it. Those people who are listening on the podcast, those people who are watching tonight, they will see that they will go to bed with one name ringing in their ears. Stefan Ratchford was a top 3 player at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on Friday. Wow. Just simply wow. On that, we need a bit of love. And there's only one man on this panel that does love. Yes, it's the Barry White of Super League Raw himself. Here he comes. Yes, Mr. Sexy himself. Here he is.
This is Joel Scholes with your Fantasy League update. Let's see who the movers and shakers are for this week.
I think Kevin Ratchford in the top 3 is going to be player of the Wobble of the Year. I think if there's a thing for that, a trophy for that, Dave. Just so you know. Anyway, right. Look, league update. Jack Wellsby 108 points. I don't think anyone's surprised with that. He had a cracking game, and what a team to play against, eh? And just smashed everyone to pieces. Well done, Jack. Now we've got Newman and Connor with 65 and 73 points, respectively. And we've got Marshall and Walmsley with 57 and 81. Whitby, once again, no surprise that Whitby's in the top spot here with 82. And Mikey Lewis with 81. I think that'd be a great combo, wouldn't it, if in the halves, if you could ever see that. And then Jay Pitts, we've already spoke about him today with 63 points. Had a really good crack at the weekend. And then we've got Ensemble with 64 points. We've not seen on there for a little while. And Suriname with 80 points. And then Matty Lees with 72. SESA with 67. And Jake Connor with 64 points. So a bit of a mismatch. Not as high scoring points as what we've previously seen, but clearly you can see who are the ones that are, as we said in the title, the movers and shakers for this week. And then we're going to now have a look at our standings for pole position. So we've got Alan Bagley in 3rd, pretty strong on that with the merchandise. And then Stuart Scaife, once again, got one hand on his replica shirt for next year. And Neil Ormston still standing tall at the top, who's going to be getting his season ticket for next year if he continues. So well done, guys, there. And then as we move from 4th down to 10th, we have, if I can get it up, there we are. We've got David Moore in 4th. In 5th, Alan Bagley. In 6th, Neil Ormston again. 7th, we've got Liam Cannon. 8th, we've got Terry Moon. 9th, we've got Stephen Broomfield. And 10th, we've got Stuart Scaife. Now, interestingly, one of the highest points scored was someone who was down in, let's have a look what position he was in. 19th, Jamie Lawson with a massive, this week, 882 points. What an absolute monstrous score that was, and it isn't the only one that was in the 800s either. There was a lot of high 7s and high 800s. So, yeah, people are really starting to do well on their fantasy league. So well done there, guys. We might start seeing some changes in the top 10. And let's see if anybody can change in the top 3, because it always makes an interesting league. And that's the update for this week.
Well done, Joel. Very well done. Coming next to Fantasy League. We've already done it. Absolutely. Right, guys, look, for those people who are new to Super League Raw, what's all that about? Well, our members are playing for a season ticket, their replica shirt next year, and some merchandise from Super League Raw. I've already told you I was up at 5:30 this morning putting this show together for your viewing pleasure. Would it be wonderful to see what we could achieve if I could do this full time? And in order to do that, I need more members. There's quite a few in the chat tonight who are saying, great show and all the rest of it. but some of them are not members. And look, guys, you know, for only £4.99 a month, that's it. You can get all the shows. You can get the WhatsApp group. You can get competitions, prizes. At the end of the season, we've got Ashes tickets up for grabs. We're going to have grand final tickets up for grabs. You know, we've got those prizes up for grabs. The more people that join, the more prizes we can do. We really need your support. So if you're somebody who's listening to this podcast, who is watching this podcast, and you're not a member, come on, £4.99. That's all we're asking for. It allows us to improve our production. It allows us to get, for example, in the sheds. In the sheds is a casualty this year. I've got to prioritise the members. There's so many people who like in the sheds. I haven't got the time to do it. Haven't got the time to do 6 in the sheds a week. Just haven't, you know, and sometimes I've got to put my hands up and say, can't do it, and I can't. We are going to bring it back, like I said, in some guys. But yeah, we really need your support. So there's the QR code. Please consider becoming a member if you're not. Like I say, £4.99 a month. 1 month, £4.99. It's less than a latte. You're getting entertainment every Tuesday. You're getting entertainment on Captain's Run every Thursday. You're getting the Final Whistle podcast every Monday. You're getting Round Unpacked if you remember. WhatsApp. It's worth its weight in gold. And all the members will be chipping in the chat saying, do it, because they absolutely loved it. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has regretted it. They love being a part of this community. Come and join the family is what I would say. Right, pitch over for this week. We now go into the Prediction League. Here we go. And there goes Craig. Oh, he always limps in, Craig, doesn't he? There you go. Friends for life. I'll let you read that as we look at our Prediction League. Here it is. And as you can see, the members still lead Reggie by 3 points week on week. Greg and the non-members, though, got 19 points this week. Good effort from them. Then it was Earl and Joel with 16 points. Me and the members 13 points, and Mr. Sale had a shocker. He had 11. So it's really bunching up. There's not an awful lot in it. Plenty of points up for grabs. So yeah, happy days. Congratulations to you, the members. You're doing a great job. But Reggie is still very much in the hunt for the top prize this year. And Craig is in the chat celebrating going top of the league. Well done, sir. Right, let's take a look at the... oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong league. Why have I done that league twice? Shocking. I don't know. Like I say, I really shouldn't do this show at that time in the morning, should I? Here we go. Quick change. Boom. There you are. The men's league table, of course, the Robins lead the Wigan Warriors going into this week by 2 points. The Rhinos in third, and deservedly so. You've got to say well done to the Leeds Rhinos and your faithful. Great effort. The Leopards dropped to fourth. The Saints in fifth. They've got a very favourable fixture list coming up once they get through KR. So expect them to cement their position in the top 6 over the coming month. There's no doubt about that. Then the Trin, outside Hull FC, Dragons, Wolves, and then, of course, coming up the rear, Tigers, Giants, and the Red Devils in the bottom spots. Right, let's take a look at this week's fixtures. Here they come as the good estate agent there. We're going to have to... Oh, sorry, Steph. We're just going to have to move that for a moment. My sincere apologies. I'll take myself off the screen. Now, hang on a minute. I will do in a minute when I get me digits right. There you go. I have now got the head of the good estate agent. Right, there you go. And here are the games this week. The Giants, of course, taking on the Leopards this Thursday live on Sky. Then it's going to be the Robins against the Saints Friday again on Sky. That should be a belting game. On Sky Plus will be the Red Devils against the Wigan Warriors. Then, of course, also the Wire and the Tigers, also on Super League Plus. Then we get to watch along live. Mark Hill already in the throne for that. Who will join him? We'll decide that over the coming days. If you're a member and you want to get involved, please do go to the announcements on the WhatsApp group and put your hand up for that. It will be a very good afternoon. You will enjoy it. And, of course, the more you do it, the better you get. But that is going to be a belting game. Far easier, I think, than perhaps the one that Craig and Bazza had. That should be a really good contest on Saturday afternoon. And then, of course, the final game of the round, the Catalan Dragons hosting Hull FC. So those are the fixtures. So let's get straight to the Thursday fixture. The teams, of course, have been announced for this because, of course, they were announced today. Joel against Stefan Sale. Oh, yes. Right. Let's go to the home first. Joel, there's your squad, my friend. Again, pretty much a fullish roster. Who are you missing, mate? Who's not there?
Jack Murch is not in. Niall Levels isn't in. Liam Sutcliffe isn't in. And I think we're about there with that, really.
Will Flanagan get back in the squad?
He has to. If he's not named in that 17, I think myself and the rest of the Giants family are going to be absolutely furious. He has to play, and if he doesn't get played, then questions seriously need to be asked of Mr. Robinson. And as you know, I'm a very big fan of Luke. Love him to bits. Great guy. I think he's a great coach. However, if he doesn't put him in, that's a massive blunder, and serious questions do need to be asked then.
Sam Hewitt has to start in second row for me as well.
Has to. Yeah, he's a starter. The thing is, Sam can play 80 minutes.
Yeah.
He's a forward who can play a full 80, and he plays well. He's extremely fit for a forward. So you really hope Sam would be starting.
Yeah, I think so. And are we expecting a Tristan Powell debut?
100%. He's definitely playing.
Definitely playing. You've got no doubt in mind on that.
Yeah, he's definitely playing.
Fair enough. Okay. So we'll come back to you in a minute for your prediction. Steph, I'm going to come over to you. A couple of things from your perspective. First of all, let's talk Flanagan. You'd be delighted, wouldn't you, if Luke Robinson left him out for this game?
Yeah, it was a bizarre one for me last week to leave him out and put Lawler here at fullback. I think Flanagan's been arguably Huddersfield's best player. So I think Saints would have been made up with him not playing last week. And, I want to play the best players. So I hope he is playing because I love watching him. But it'll be a very interesting selection from Mr. Robinson. Now all these players are coming back.
Alex is saying that Leeds have changed to 4:30. Is that right?
Yeah, they've changed it. I think is it to do with Rob Burrow?
Right, but he's still on the beam. Right, so that'll be starting at 4:15 then. That's even better, actually. It's not in the middle of the day. That's probably better for us, to be fair. Mr. Hill won't let me down. He'll be fine. Right, so that's the Flanagan debate. Now let's have the other debate. David Armstrong back in the 21-man squad. This big question mark over, Bailey Hodgson. What would you do, Steph?
I think if Armstrong's fit and he's 100% fit, I think he's got to play. He's Lee's, one of Lee's marquee players. I think Bailey Hodgson still needs to be in the starting 13. For me, based on Maya Hanley's performance of the weekend, I would move him onto the wing and play Bailey Hodgson in the centres. I think Bailey's quite decent in the centres. He's got a good defensively as well. And I'd like to see that combination. And then I think the main one for me is to start Josh Charnley, and I'd drop down Al McIntosh as well based on his performance at the weekend. But obviously the big missing one for us is Ethan O'Neill. We may get Frankie Olsen back this week, but as one comes in, one goes out. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting team selection for you this week in terms of what Lamb does, because this is where the top coaches get tested. And me, I think there's a lot of those Lee players that played against Hull FC that haven't justified the place in the team this week. So it'd be interesting to see whether Lamb does the same thing.
Of course, we'll get into detail on Captain's Run when we've got the a bit more detail and we do a little bit of in-depth analysis in terms of stats and the rest of it. But I'll stay with you, Steph. A bad defeat against FC, and don't get me wrong, we've all said it, you've said it, all credit to FC. But from a league perspective, bad defeat, really bad. If they were to lose this game, what do you think the reaction would be with the Be The Raw Brigade? I mean, I know you're a pragmatic bunch and you're very loyal to your team, but that would have to be said to be two really, really bad performances on the spin.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a much improved performance from that first half. I think Hull FC were outstanding. They didn't need any help from Lee, but they certainly got it with our errors, particularly in that first half. But they were outstanding and thoroughly. I said to you privately, Dave, I think Hull FC, that first half performance would have probably been beaten most teams in Super League the way they played. That they were outstanding. But it's one of those where it's difficult because Huddersfield are getting a lot of the players back now, and that is a very good squad that they've got there. So it wouldn't surprise me if Huddersfield beat Lee. especially at their place, at their ground. Lee need a big improvement from what they were against Hull FC in that first half. And if they play like they did in that first half and make the errors they made, then Huddersfield will definitely have a chance of winning this game.
Huddersfield are going to get better. I think everybody expects them to get better. There's no doubt about that. Carla Colley is saying that she'd have Charlie over McIntosh every day of the week. Tom Massa disagreeing with you, Steph. He said that Hodgson can't play centre. He's as good as Hanley defensively. Right to reply?
Go and watch Bailey Hodgson's defence. How many missed tackles has Bailey Hodgson made this season, Dave?
Well, I'll have to go and have a look at that. I don't know how many you missed last week, but dear me, you've caught me on the hop there. Whilst I'm on the hop and I'm finding that, let's get Reggie in, of course, because you're the neutral in this. Greg, I don't know about you. I'm really looking forward to this game. We expect at some point Huddersfield to fire. We don't know when that's going to be. Leah coming into this off the back of a really bruising defeat. I think it's got the potential to be a really good game.
Could be an absolute humdinger. It's one of those games that has got the potential to be really, really good. You know, Huddersfield getting players back, but a lot of those players, maybe, you know, we talk about match fitness, and Lee will be stinging that first half performance. I mean, they only kind of got back into the game when Asiata went off. I think Steph will agree with that. He was the linchpin in that first half for Hull. He was superb. I think this will be a closer game than a lot of people think. Huddersfield have got to string an 80-minute performance together at some point this season. Joel, you probably agree with this, that they've been very good over 40 minutes or 50 minutes and then just fallen apart, or they've been very poor for 40 minutes and then got it together in the second 40 minutes. At some point this season, they have got to string together a good 80-minute performance.
Yeah, Craig Ford from the chat there saying it'll be 4 in a row, so he expects a bit of pressure. Carl is also saying that, you know, the pressure's on Lee going into this. I think any team that, you know, and this is no disrespect to the bottom three, because Salford we expect to lose, and again, I'm sorry, Salford fans, we do because of the personnel. But Castleford have got wins in them, they've got upsets in them, and I think Huddersfield at some point are going to have upsets in them. There's no doubt about that. Huddersfield will turn at some point. I do believe that. But yeah, I mean, Lee, especially off the back of last week, Adrian Lamb needs a reaction. Of course, 4th in a row. Just want to talk to my old mate here. Good to see Nicola Burtonwood in the chat as always. We'll get to her prediction in a minute. Where's he gone? You know, this is the problem when you see someone in the chat, and you go, wow, where's that gone? And then, you know, I can't find it again, which is unbelievable because everybody's talking, which is very disappointing. We've got Nigel Wood with us, but it's not the real Nigel Wood. But that's him. Dan Parker. Dan says it's a great show. Join the membership, Dan. If you're enjoying it, mate, there's the QR code. Join the membership. Come and join your Robins brethren. There's lots of them ready to welcome you into our community. Dan Parker, come on, mate. You know what makes sense. There's the QR code. Become a member tonight. Come and see what you're missing, my friend. Right, let's get serious. Let's start talking predictions. Greg, you, of course, are the neutral in this. So I'm going to let you kick off. Where do you think this win is going to go, and by how many, sir?
Right, I think that Huddersfield will be buoyed by players that are getting back, but I think Lee will be really, really, really eager to bounce back after last week. You know, I didn't think that Hull would beat them as convincingly as they did. I don't think many people did. They will sting from that. And Joel, please forgive me, but I'm going to go Lee 9-17.
9-17 to the Leopards. We'll go to Steph. He's away. Steph, your side, over to you.
I see it being quite a close game, this one. I think they'll match up. I think their forwards will probably match up quite well with ours. So I expect them to be quite dominant down the middle. I think we need to see Edwin Mbappe on his blistering form, not just a mix and match of brilliance and then absolute ludicrous stuff. So that's going to be a critical part of the game, and team selection for both coaches is going to be critical in this game. I'm going to go Lee 1-8, but it could be either Lee 1-8 or Huddersfield 1-8 for me. This.
Well, Andy Bibby, he's gone the Giants 1-8, and Aidan Simpson, he has gone the Giants 1-8. Joel, bit of love for you there, mate. What's your thoughts?
Even Mr. Sharp put Huddersfield, but I think he's having some sort of sick joke, if I'm being honest. Not catching bait on that one, Alex. So try again. Had we played the spine that I mentioned in Round Unpacked, so please become members so you can watch Round Unpacked. If we'd have had, for me, the spine would be George Flanagan at 1.
Yeah.
You'd have Wolford at 9. You'd have Tui at 6. You'd have Clune at 7. You'd have Rush as your backup 9 because he's a very good 9, especially a very good backup 9 as well at that. We've been lacking, and this is something that my dad's been saying to me for weeks and weeks, and he's 100% right, is that our line speed, our ruck speed is just far too slow. It's almost like we're playing with Zimmer frames. It's so slow. It's boring to watch. It's absolutely terrible. Had we had played that spine last week, coming into this week, my prediction would have been far different, and I would have even gone as far to say we had a possibility of winning this game. That didn't happen. And though I think if we do go with that spine, we will see a lot more line speed, a lot quicker playing the ruck, and around, getting up quicker, just trying to control the game a little bit more. I still don't see us being able to compete like that because we've now got more people back. There's still a lot of ring rust. You can see it. They're blowing off a lot of cobwebs. And this has come at a bad time to play Lee, who have been off a 3-bounce loss, which is never good. Lee's not a team that you come against after a loss. I have gone Lee 18 plus, though I do want to see. I want to see a commitment. I want to see an effort for a full 80 minutes. I'm happy with a loss. I'm not happy with no effort, and that's where it lands for me. There has to be effort, and they have to play together as a team.
Fair enough. So what are you going?
Lee 18 plus.
Wow.
Easy for them.
No, I don't see that. I don't see that. I really don't. I would hope for your sake that things improve this week. Well, I don't think you win, but I'd like to think you're not an 18 plus. So Craig, for a lot of 9 to 17s for Lee. I get that. A few 1 to 8s in the chat as well. Carla Collier 9 to 17 Lee. We've got John Wilkinson 9 to 17. Craig Stanley's gone 1 to 8 Lee. Don Kirby's 9 to 17 Lee. Tom Bevan 9 to 17. So quite a lot of 9 to 17s. A couple of 1 to 8s in there. Maybe it's the neutral in me. I'm just hoping for a really good game. I'm going Lee 1 to 8. I'm hoping it's a nice tight game. I think, yeah.
I'm not sure if Freddie's in the chat, but I'm sure Freddie will probably quite agree with me.
No, I don't think he is. I don't know where Reggie's gone. Reggie obviously has been caught short. But anyway, what am I doing down there? Shock. Oh, there he is. There you are. That's much better. Yes, that's the OCD. You know that. Right, lovely stuff. Well, anyway, there you go. That's the Huddersfield against Lee game. Let's now move on to the next game on the list, which is which order? Let's get it out of the way. Salford against Wigan. Let's do this quick, shall we? Joel?
18 plus Wigan.
Steph?
Salford 1 to 8. No, Wigan 18 plus. It's got to be.
Greg?
Wigan 18 plus.
Yeah, 18 plus. Just going back to the previous game, non-members have gone Lee 18 plus, and the members have gone Lee 9 to 17. Everybody going Wigan 18 plus. No major surprise there. Now let's get into a juicy game. Let's get into a game that I think is fascinating. Hull KR pre-Wembley, massive. What is Willie Peters going to do? I think it's already come out today. Dean Hadley's very doubtful for this one. Very doubtful. I don't think anybody who is carrying a knock, rightly so, he will leave out, no doubt. I think if they're fully fit, he'll play him. I think he's that type of coach, is Willie Peters. I think if they're fully fit, he'll play him. But any doubts at all, he might rest a few. So will we see the 17 that played at Warrington? Possibly not. But I think it'll be a very, very strong team because he understands. And I think the Robins fans understand that Wigan can overtake them at the top this weekend if they don't get the right result. And once Wigan hit the front, we know what Wigan are about. So I think he understands that, there is that fine balance here. Saints have been in poor form, but have had 2 good wins. You could argue against 2 sides that have been pretty poor, have not really been firing. But you can only beat what's in front of you. And what this has allowed Saints to do is to work on attacking combinations, to find that spine, to find that fluidity. When you see Morgan Knowles doing rubber kicks, you're in trouble. Let's be absolutely honest about that. So it's allowed them that little bit of, breathing space to just get their combinations right, build the confidence. So they will be going to Craven Park in far better fettle than they have been for many, many a week. So I think this has got all the potential to be a really good game. Perhaps maybe for the first time, a Saints team that could go and compete against the likes of KR and Wigan based on what we're seeing. I think the combinations are right at the moment. They look better, do Saints at this moment in time. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's a shame, obviously. I'll have to watch it when I get home from the Wirecast game. And I know I'll get the score before I manage to watch it. But yeah, really looking forward to getting home on Friday night, as I'm sure Reggie is, to watch this one, because it should be an absolute belter. Really looking forward to it. Right, Joel, we'll start with you. We know KR are a brilliant side, but Saints have got the personnel. We all know they've got the personnel. Talk us through it and give us your prediction. You've got to be looking forward to it, mate.
Oh, yeah, very much so. It's a game where I think that the team that allows themselves the most space will be the ones that will control the game. Saints, we allowed them a lot of possession. We allowed them a lot of area, space to do what they needed to do and to create opportunities, and they took them every time. KR's not a team that's going to allow that. KR are very much in your face. They're very fast. They're very fit. And that will help for the full 80 minutes. So Saints have got to think differently in this game. They've got to realise that they're coming up against some real heavy competition. They're going to have to find a way of creating their own space. They're going to have them rugby smarts throughout the whole game to have a chance of winning here, because they are playing fantastic rugby now with Saints. We're seeing an improvement from them. It was really good. I really enjoyed watching the game, though KR are just red hot. And, the defence is as good as their attack. So, even if you do give them space, they're still going to stop you from scoring. So I think for that, I have gone for a KR win. I've gone 9-17. But I don't think it's going to be the higher end of that. I think it's going to be like towards the lower end. I don't see it being as close as 1-8. But yeah, I'm going 9-17
to KR.
KR, yeah.
Okay, Greg, you saw KR at close quarters last week. Saints, of course. Warrington at the moment got the hoodoo over Saints a little bit.
They have.
Albeit I think it's a better Saints at this point in the season than it was when Warrington played them earlier in the season. What are your thoughts on it, mate?
Saints are improving. Sorry, guys, the hay fever's kicking in, so that's why I keep disappearing. But yeah. Saints are improving week on week. Got some players back. Sailor seems to have settled into a new position, and I think that was maybe a bit the problem in early doors with Saints. He didn't quite know where to put Sailor in because it was throwing other players out, other creative players out. KR were very, very good last week, albeit against a Warrington team that maybe was a little bit weaker than they might have expected, but that's no excuse. They were very, very good. Mikey Lewis is an absolute, he's a thorn in every other team's side, Mikey Lewis. Will he rest Mikey Lewis? I think this rests on whether Mikey Lewis is rested for this game. Can't afford injury, can't afford any kind of disciplinary against him. If Mikey Lewis plays, I'm going KR 1-8, and I'm going to have to take it that he's going to play as strong a team as possible before Wembley. I'm going KR 1-8. I think, as somebody's already said in the chat, I think this could very well be a golden pointer. I'm hoping it is for obvious reasons. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very, very good game. Will the KR players' minds be on Wembley? They shouldn't be if they're professionals. But yeah, I'm going KR 1-8.
Well, all I know is this. When Ollie speaks, we listen. Young Ollie is in the chat. Yes, he is. He's saying that Rovers will rest key players, and Ollie's going against his team. He's going Saints 1-8, Steph. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with Ollie, unfortunately, on this one. I don't think he's going to rest players. I think they made that massive error in 2023 against Lee. Obviously, Lee went full strength and went and beat Leeds at Leeds before the Challenge Cup final. Evening, Alex Sharp. So yeah, I do expect Willie Peters to put his strongest 17 available, subject to those players being fully fit. So if there's any niggles, then I think those players may get rested. But he will want to name his strongest 17 and go in with momentum to this game. I think the interesting and the bit we've not really talked about is Saints' form, and I think Saints are looking very dangerous at the moment. And like you mentioned earlier, Dave, about building those combinations, I think that could be crucial in this game, and I think Saints will definitely fancy the chances in this. I think it's a good time for them to play OKR, and I'm expecting this to be a real humdinger of a game. We've got to remember as well, some of these KR players are playing for their place to play at Wembley, so they're going to want to put in a really good performance. So it could go either way, but I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go Saints 1-8.
Ooh, he's getting.
Yeah.
You disagree with Ollie?
I disagreed with him that I think KR are going to put the strongest team out. I still think Saints 1-8.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, before I give you my prediction on this, I disagree with Craig. I don't think this is the tide around. I think it's Wakey. I really do. I think that has got the potential to be a really, really good game. I'm really looking forward to that Wakey Leeds game. But yeah, this has got it has got everything going for it. But someone just tells me Wakey beating Leeds first game of the season, both of those two sides in really good form. Ooh, it's a mouthwater that. We'll get to that in a little while. There's Dan Parker, of course, the next Super League Raw member. He's saying that he'd rest. I think it's Mikey Lewis, or maybe it's Jack Broadbent, one of the two. But yeah, for me, I think this is a fascinating game. I really, really do. It takes. Let's be fair. This is KR. KR are just a bit of juggernaut really this season, with the exception of that Wigan game where you probably want the time again. Didn't crown themselves in too much glory that day. Wigan, though, were excellent. I mean, two glorious moments of skill from Bevan French, which just turned that game. And, of course, a majestic run from field. But we also know that KR have got that in their locker. There's just something telling me, like it's telling Ollie, like it's telling Steph, there's something telling me that Saints could do this. There is that spectre of the final. Saints, for me, come into this game with a lot going for them. Sirenan had his best game of the season against it. And I know it's the Giants, I know that, but it's about confidence building. Knowles is in incredible form. The combination between Whitby and Lomax is cementing. Wellesby at fullback's been outstanding. Saylor looks incredible on the wing because of his pace and his skill. Percival's class, we know that. Alex Walmsley's the top meter maker in the league. There's a lot going for Saints in this, and if KR are distracted by that final, Saints win. Saints win. There's no doubt about it for me, because Saints are in that level of form. So I think it's going to be very interesting. And on that basis, and because I'm behind and I've got to be a bit different, I am going to go Saints 1-8. But I genuinely believe that Saints could do it. I do genuinely believe that Saints could. I think if it was any other week than the week before the Challenge Cup final, I'd probably back KR. But just something tells me that where Saints are at the moment and that final on the horizon could be the Saints. And imagine the keyboard warriors. They'd be putting the keyboards away for Wellens, wouldn't they, if that happened? But that's another story. Right, let's get to the wire. I think I'll just quickly in the chat. Let's have a quick look, actually, before we do that. Hey up, Chihuahuas are back. Chihuahuas are back in the chat. We're not going there. Andy Bibby's going draw. KR 917. Tom Messer. Most are going KR. Daniel Long says KR 1-8. Most going KR, but yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, Warrington against the Tigers. Don't forget, you Tigers fans, Bluebell, 6:00. Come and join us. You'll love it. You will absolutely love Super League Raw Live in the Bluebell this Friday night. Don't miss out. Keep your eyes on our social media feeds. We'll give you all the information you need in terms of where to park, when we start, everything. Absolutely marvellous. Right, let's start with Steph. Steph, Wire against Cass. Over to you.
Yeah, I think this is going to be another really good game, actually. Cass playing pretty all right at the moment. Obviously, went down to Leeds, but only 7-0 at half time in that game. I thought Cass played really well that first half. And obviously, with the injuries that Warrington have got, I think it's a bit of a leveller. So Cass will definitely be fancying this one. But I do think Warrington are going to be a bit too strong for them. I think they're going to be buoyed by that performance they put in against KR. I think it was a better performance than most people expected. So I'm going to go Warrington 9-17 in this one. I think Warrington have got a really good chance of doing all right in this game.
Wire 9-17. Joel?
Just a point before I go as well. Bailey Hodgson has made 25% less missed tackles than Amaya Handler this season, to answer that question from before.
But he is 75% efficiency.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's move on to Joel. Over to you, Joel.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one and a very difficult one to call this game because Cass are going to rely quite heavily on their forward pack. They're going to hope that the forwards are going to get them into territory.
Ramon's out. Ramon's out, I think.
Yeah, but they've still got a few, recruits that they've had in. So we'll see how they get on. Having obviously Amon not being there is a miss. But they've now got a much bigger pack than they certainly did at the start of the season. So that's where they're going to be reliant, and they're going to hope that they can get some meters up, certainly out their own half, and that's the biggest thing for Cass. With Wire having the injury issues that they're having currently, that is going to have a bigger factor and impact on the game. So I see it being a lot closer. I'm going Wire 1-8 for two reasons. One, they're at home, and two, that they're going to be very careful for the Challenge Cup. They're not going to go all guns blazing because they're going to want to keep as many people as safe as possible and get through this week. But yeah, they're going to have a bit too much for Cass.
Dan Parker trying to say that Alex Sharp is FC. No, Alex Sharp is Leeds Rhino, my friend. Right, Greg. I actually disagree a little bit with Joel. I think that Warrington need a momentum-defining win against Cass. I think they need a big win to build the confidence going into that game at Wembley. What's your thoughts, mate?
I think it's essential that they have a momentum-building win this weekend. Will it happen? It depends on what team, what squad, what team Big Sam puts out. It depends on the halfback combination. We lost Ollie Leyland. How long's Ollie Leyland out for? We've got no Williams. Does he bring Sneed back in to partner Ratchford? Does he put Curry in there? Holroyd. There's going to be a lot of youngsters on there. I think Connor Wrench, the younger Thewlis. It's a difficult one, this. It really is. I think it's going to be a tight game. But as somebody just, as Ben just put in the chat, there's a lot of Warrington players there who could be earning a Wembley shirt. And that is a big thing for any team to be earning a shirt at that Challenge Cup final. Castleford haven't beat Warrington for 3 years, I think. I think they beat us with a drop goal about 3 years ago. I'm going to go. Yeah, Steph's a wire flyer and I'm his first reserve.
I can't win me. I'm the wire flyer, and then the next bit I never back Warrington.
I know, yeah.
Right,
I can't predict results to save my life as well. I'm second in the league. Anyway, I think Wire 9-17.
9-17. So
Yeah.
you're going for that defining win. I'm going Wire 1-8. In the chat, Nigel Wood, Wire 9-17. Nigel will be a member soon. We've actually got a few people debating. I can see what they're doing on the website. They debated. Did he become a member? Did he not? Come on, it makes sense. Garibo Cast 9-17. Ollie Stokes going Wire 1-8. Good lad, Ollie. I've always liked Ollie. He's a good lad. Andy Bibby Wire 18+. Craig Stanley Wire 9-17. Carl Shaw Cast 1-8. Brett Johnson Cast 1-8. So there's a bit of love for Cast as well. Majority Nicola Burtwood. Hey up, Nick. 9-17 to the Wire. Tom Bevan Wire 18+. Nige Bennett going Tigers 1-8. So bit of love there. Bit of love for Cass. It'll be a very interesting game. Don't forget, you Tigers fans, join us in the Bluebell. Right, let's get to what I believe is the game of the round. I think this is a tantalising game. Really looking forward to Mark Hill doing Watch Along Live on Saturday. Right, Joe, we'll start with you. Two teams that, of course, you love to go up against us, the Huddersfield Giants. They're going to be going up against each other. I know you're impressed with Wakey. I know you're impressed with Leeds as well this season. This could be an absolute brilliant war of the White Rose over there in Headingley Stadium. Over to you, sir. What do you make of it? Where's it going to go?
Another one that's very hard to call. Two West Yorkshire clubs. It's not a typical derby. It's certainly not one of them, but it's shaping up to be a good contest coming into the future with both the forms that they've been going in. As we're well aware, Leeds have got a very good defence, and Wakefield have got a fantastic attacking side. The difference between the two is that Leeds are very good on both sides of the ball, where they're off the ball and when they're on it. And I think that could probably be the defining moment. There's nothing to say that Wakefield won't win or can't win, but I think there's just a couple of things there that's going to be in Leeds' favour. Is their defence is just very, very good. Connor's flying high, He's doing great, and it's lovely to see. This is at Leeds, isn't it? I think it's at home.
It's Headingley, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another factor. That's not going to help the South Stand being on top of Wakey. They're going to be up for it, and I have gone Leeds 1-8 just for them two factors alone. That Leeds are just really, really, really good at the moment, and like you said, it's going to be very tantalising. It's a good word, that, Dave. It's going to be a tasty fixture.
Yeah, tantalising. I like that. Just on that point, though, about Leeds. Yeah, Leeds have got a better defence. They have 133 conceded to Wakey's 188. However, Wakey have scored more, 305 to 242, albeit that game against Salford certainly bolstered that at the weekend. Greg, this could be a belter. I see it a 1-8 either way. Which way are you going?
I'm really looking forward to this game. I think Leeds were taken by surprise by Wakefield early doors. I don't think they'll get taken by surprise again. I'm going Rhinos 1-8.
Rhino, you're going to wear the Rhinos 1-8.
Yeah,
Simpson there saying Leeds versus Wakey is like picking a favourite relation. We will take you. We'll take your word for that, Simo lad. Steph, again, probably going to go 1-8. I'm guessing either way. I think it's deserving of a close game. Which way are you going, mate?
Well, we've already alluded to Wakefield this season. I mean, the improvement they've made has been better than Joel's Wi-Fi this evening. It's going to be a phenomenal game. This one, I think. I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to the Leeds Cass game and that first half performance from Leeds, which not any disservice to Cass, who I thought was great, but Leeds I think were pretty poor in that first half, and they did really well to come out in the second half and do a job on Cass. But Wakefield are not Castleford. Wakefield are miles better than Castleford this season, and that's just fact. And it's at Wakefield as well, isn't it? This one?
No, it's away. It's at Headingley.
Oh, is it Headingley again?
Yeah, it's Headingley. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, that does make a bit of a difference to what I was going to, because I think home advantage for Leeds is going to have a bit of an impact. But I'm still going to go for a Wakefield win. And I'm actually going to go Wakefield 9-17. I think it's going to be a bit of a shock.
Ooh, that's a big call. That's a big call. That's a massive. That's a man who had a bad week last week, and he's looking to rectify the situation. That's a big call.
No, I need points.
You do. Well, Stephen Rudge agrees with you. He agrees with you. Nige Bennett agrees with you. There's Nige. He's going 9-17. Finny McGilchrist.
Wakefield are good enough to do 9-17.
Now, I think Wakey are a good side, mate. I really do. However, I'm going to go Rhinos 1-8. I am. So there's a lot of difference here. Let's just quickly go. Non-members have gone Trim 1-8. Members have gone Leeds 1-8. So look, the bottom line is, I think it's 3-3 here. 3-3. Am I right? Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3. No, 4-2. 4-2 before Earl sent his in. But yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think it's a barnstormer of a game. Could go either way. Really looking forward to it. And then, of course, the curtain comes down in Perpignan as the Catalan Dragons go up against Hull FC. A Hull FC without John Asiata. That's massive, massive that Asiata's not there in Perpignan. Will Joel Tompkins get a reaction? Well, there's got to be a better reaction than what he got last week, because last week was appalling. Very similar to what I said to Steph, that, if Lee was to go to Huddersfield and lose, wow. If FC was to go to Perpignan and lose, wow. Because even though that was fantastic last week from FC, they were on a bad run of defeats. And all of a sudden, that win at Catalan if Catalan win a win, that would burst the bubble very quickly. So it's the Asiata factor. Can Catalan be that bad? Of course, Simo saying Catalan out. Greg, your thoughts in Perpignan, mate?
Yeah, I think Catalan are in trouble. I think they're struggling. I think they're struggling for a win. I think the fact that they've lost a coach is a telling factor, and I'm going to go Hull 18 plus. I think Catalan are a spent force at this moment in time. I don't think Joel Tompkins is the answer. I really don't.
I don't think anybody does, but I mean, 18 plus.
18 plus Hull. Yeah, no Asiata, but Hull.
No Cuss potentially.
Yeah, I think Hull are going to win this 18 plus. Catalan are not at the races at this moment in time for whatever reason. So I'm going big. Hull 18 plus.
Well, young Ollie's saying that the Asiata factor gives it to Catalan 1-8. There's Ollie. There's Ollie again. That boy's a good pundit. Good pundit. Fantastic.
Ollie, why didn't you say that before I made my guess?
Yeah, he's a good pundit. He knows what he's doing, Ollie. You know what I mean? Could bring a bit of class to the panel.
I've got now them boys, eh?
Right, Steph, mate. Hull, Catalan. Do you agree with Steph? Do we, Greg? Do you think it's an 18 plus to FC?
No, I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting game, this, and we've already, you spoiled a bit for me there with the Asiata thing. We've already had a chat about that. I think Kate Cust is another massive one. But on the flip side of that, do we know if Boucher and Garcia are going to be playing for Catalan?
I think it's unlikely. The feeling I got from the post-match is that they could still be out this week.
Right, okay. I think that's massive. I was doing my prediction based on at least one of those two coming back and giving them a bit more grunt up the middle to go against this very dominant FC pack. But it's tough. It's tough going to Perpignan. It's a tough place to go, and they will want to, for their own fans. They're getting a bit of a run of home games now after being away for a bit. Want to put a performance in. So I'm going with my mate Ollie. I'm going Catalan 1-8.
Oh, it's a big shout. It's a big shout. Joel, bring the curtain down on round number 13, mate. What's your thoughts?
I think the words from Sam Tompkins have been ringing in my head. The things that he said about Steve Mack being softer than Joel, I think is a massive thing to say. And we've clearly seen the attitude of some of the Catalan players haven't been the best. So, they're going to take the bat and ball home and think, well, we're going to show him. I don't know. Joel's not the answer. He's not a big enough figure within the coaching scene yet. I know he's been given the job interim, but I just don't see the fortunes turning around that fast. I've got FC wrong every single time I've predicted them, so I've gone for something that I don't think will happen, and hoping that it will for once. So I've gone FC 9-17. I think they're gonna be buoyed after the recent games.
FC 9-17 non-members, FC 9-17 members in the chat tonight. Who's that? That's Anthony Crowther. No Asiata showed second half, no play the ball in Leeds 20. Yeah, do you know what? It's a good shout. Yeah. I mean, a lot of love in the chat for FC. A lot of love. And look, the league table is what the league table is. Let's be honest about that. But look, guys, let's not forget it's only 3 points. There's only 3 points between Catalan Dragons and FC, as well as FC have played this season. It's only 3 points. You look at the for and against. Yeah, minus 60 the Dragons, minus 23 FC. There's not an awful lot in it. There really isn't. I mean, in terms of points scored, there's 11. In terms of points conceded, it's 26. Yes, both of those in the favour of FC. But there's not a lot in this. So on that basis, I'm going Catalan 1-8. I'm going the Dragons 1-8. They're at home. They have to be better. Have to be better. And I agree with what was said, reference when Asiata went out in the second half and cussed. They looked a different side. Now, in the short period of time that's gone between the LSV and Perpignan, have they worked on how they're going to overcome perhaps Kay Cuss not being there? I mean, better talk about Price being thrown into the six. I don't think. I think they need to leave Price where he is. I think Will Price needs to just settle into a role. I don't think Will at this stage of his career is a player who. I mean, look. For example, we saw Bevan French. We saw Jack Wellsby. If Jack Wellsby can't go into six and be effective, what chance has Will Price got? If Bevan French can't go from standoff to fullback, what chance has Will Price got? I think Will Price, for me, needs to be given a position and he needs to cement himself in that position, dominate it, master it, and move on. I just don't think it's the right thing to move him around. I think he's had a bit of form. I get the Moy thing. I get the Moy that you've got Moy there that can slot in. I understand that. But I'm not. And do you know what? If Custy's out, that's probably what they'll do. Do I agree with it? Probably not. I think it would be advantage Catalan. I just have to say that. It's going to be a very, very fascinating weekend of entertainment, boys. No doubt about it. In the chat. Oh, yeah, we've got Charles. But yeah, we forget about Jack Charles, don't we?
Mm.
You know, where's Jack Charles gone? Actually, he's in Canada with Camilla, isn't he? I forgot about that. Is Charles. Oh, come on, Greg. Give us a smile. I know that you're concerned about being on the bench for Ollie next week, but come on, mate. I haven't confirmed the transfer yet. Don't worry about it, mate. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. You know, he's all right. Ollie's biding his time. There's no rush. Age is on his side, mate.
I'll be gone soon.
To be fair, Matt Shaw's just confirmed it.
Matt Shaw's just confirmed what?
The transfer.
The transfer, yeah. Super League Raw shock. Yeah, Super League Raw shock. Look, guys, an outstanding night of entertainment and fun. We'll get to top performers in a minute, and of course, all the shows that are on the way. Like I say, watch along live, Captain's Run Thursday. You know, do indeed catch us for that. Probably got the time for a question. So if anybody in the chat would like to ask us a question, get it in there. We'd love to answer it. And like I say, QR code, please become a member. You will not regret it. For those members who are coming to the Challenge Cup final with us, your tickets will be on the way to you by the end of the week. I've just got to do the print-offs and I've just also got to decide who's sitting where on the day. But yeah, loads of us, over 30 of us, I think, are going to the Challenge Cup final. And, you know, again, guys, this is what the membership's all about. KR fans, Warrington fans, Huddersfield fans, Leeds fans, FC fans, Castleford fans, Wigan fans. I'm probably missing fans out. I think bar Catalan and Saints and Wakey. I think everybody else is coming. I mean, the banter's going to be outstanding. Next week, I'm hoping to be able to launch the grand final tickets so that people can come and sit together for the grand final. Last year was incredible. Incredible. We had a great day out at the grand final. This year's will probably be even better. So yeah, a lot of you tonight have been on the website. You've been looking at prices. Come on, you know it makes sense. Come and join this wonderful community. Carl saying, where are we going before the game at Wembley? Well, we're all getting in there early doors. Those of us that are going to Club Wembley, Carl, we'll probably get in there when the doors open because we want the full shebang. Steph, last year the beer prices weren't too bad, were they?
No, it was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was decent, wasn't it?
We had to a nice bar actually, just around the corner from the ground, didn't we?
We did,
which was really nice.
It was nice, but I think for me this year, maybe we get into the ground. We don't necessarily have to go and watch some members might want to go and watch the women's final. Is that a 11:45 kickoff, Greg? I think it's midday. It's about midday. So for me, you know, there's bars in there. You know, people can go and watch in the bar, but people can go and watch it in the stadium. But I think the plan is just to make it easier. My plan this year is probably to get to the ground about 11:30 and just go straight into Club Wembley and.
We'll be in We'll be in a pub somewhere near the ground because we're not with you at Box Wembley. I'm going with the family. So if anybody wants to join us at a bar outside the ground, feel free.
Shocking behaviour.
Anyway, but there you go. No, we will meet up. I'm sure we'll meet up on the day. The grand final, Carla Collier's coming again. Yeah, Carla last year, we had to convince Carla to come last year. And ever since that, she has loved it. She loves being a part of this community. Carla, we're in block 212, I think, off the top of my head.
212.
Liam Rush lost the VR link last week and he did a good job. That was Rush or was that Moore?
Rush was at Castleford.
Was it Liam Moore who lost the link?
No, it was Rush at Castleford.
Was it Rush at Castleford? Yeah. I've slept a few times since then. No, you know what? Amazing. No questions. Unbelievable. Anyway, we won't labour the point. We are back, of course, next Tuesday for a pre-Challenge Cup Super League Royal Weekly. And of course, don't forget, we are doing the Final Whistle podcast, the special Final Whistle podcast, chaired by Craig Forth. He put his hand up for it, he wants to do it. So Craig is going to be chairing the Final Whistle podcast, and it's going to be a really good discussion between Wire and KR fans, which will be absolutely marvellous ahead of the final. Of course, everybody who is a member is welcome. Tony. Cheers, guys. Oh, dear. Tony Pennington lost his mum yesterday. That is a shocker, Tony, and that's not the way we'd like to end the show, as I'm sure you could appreciate. But mate, our hearts go out to you, my friend. This one. Bottom line is this, mate. We feel the loss, mate. This is for your mum, mate. Hopefully, she will continue to watch over you in life, mate. I'm sure she will. You will meet again, my friend, and keep your chin up, mate. This community will pull you through that. I'm sure everybody in the community will rally around you, Tony. So our very, very best thoughts and wishes. Lovely that tonight has given you a little bit of enjoyment. Really sorry to hear that, Chief. And if you need anything, all of the boys on the screen and all the community are here for you. Not the way we'd like to end the show, but it's great that Tony has been with friends and this has picked him up. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Tony lost one of the most dearest people in his life, but Tony has picked him up. That's what this community is all about, and I'm sure that is nothing compared to what's coming next. We will do Bet Steph in Captain's Run, both the 5-4, which I forgot to do, and the try scorers. But we'll be back next week. Here comes the top performers. Thanks for your love and support. Bye for now.
Here are the top performers after 12 rounds of the Betfred Super League. The most tries have been scored by Jai Field of the Wigan Warriors with 13, whilst the most try assists have come from Lachlan Lamb of the League Leopards. He's got 17. The most meters made is now Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors, 1,972, taken over from Matt Duffy. Whilst the most clean breaks is joint with Mikey Lewis of Hull KR and Jai Field of the Wigan Warriors with 16. The most tackles in Super League is still Oliver Parkinson of the Catalan Dragons with 509. Whilst the most tackle busts have still come from Junior Insember of the Wigan Warriors with 76. The most hard meters down the middle is still Alex Wormsley of St Helens, 1,606. Whilst the most offloads have come from Tabita Pangai Jr. of the Catalan Dragons with 28. And finally, the most goals in Super League is Adam Kieran with 40 for the Warriors. These are your top performers after 12 rounds of the Betfred Super League.